What I'm gonna do is share with you 3 simple real estate marketing ideas that you can start implementing today. These 3 real estate marketing ideas are low cost and will help you to find more deals as quickly as possible. And at the end, what I'm gonna do is share with you how I made $7,000 using one of these low cost marketing ideas relatively quickly while my wife was pregnant with our second daughter. So before we jump into this, do me a favor, go ahead, subscribe to this channel if you're brand new. Make sure you hit the like button to help this video be pushed out to more potential real estate investors like yourself. And also, don't be shy on this channel. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what questions you have. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into this. All right, now before we jump into the 3 key marketing ideas, there's a couple of things I want you to be mindful of. In real estate investing or in any marketing in general, you're gonna have to sacrifice something. So the 2 things that you're gonna have to consider sacrificing are time or money. So some people are starting in this business with a little more time. And if that's you, then keep watching this video and realize that it's gonna take you a little longer to be able to go out there and get a deal just because you don't have the money to speed things up. Now that leads us into money. If you can sacrifice a little bit of money every month and create a small budget for yourself, you can drastically speed up the time that it's gonna take for you to be able to get a deal. So you're gonna sacrifice something. It's either gonna be time in the beginning or it's gonna be money in the beginning. But ultimately, you want to be able to eventually invest money in order to speed up the process for you to be able to get more deals a lot quicker. Once again, in the beginning, you're gonna sacrifice either time if you have less money, or you're gonna sacrifice the money to speed up the time. So think about where you are right now in your business and go full force with what I'm gonna share with you in today's video. All right, so strategy number 1 is to pull a list of seller leads and start cold calling the leads. Now, preferably, I like for you to start with a list of motivated sellers. Now, if you don't know what a motivated seller is and you don't know where to get these lists, make sure you watch this video that just popped up. I recently shot a video talking about how you can narrow down your list to a specific type of seller, preferably vacant house sellers, and pick up the phone and be able to start calling these leads to find good real estate investment deals. So again, what I want you to do is start with a targeted list of seller leads, preferably vacant property leads. And all you gotta do once you get the list is do what's called a skip trace on a list. Now, for those of you who don't know what a skip trace is, I got a video on that as well. I'll put it right here. But let me summarize what a skip trace is for you. Basically, when you're skip tracing, all you're doing is going out and finding who the seller or who the owner of a property is. You're gonna find out their mailing address and their phone number. Now, once you have this basic information, what I want you to do is pick up the phone and start cold calling the list. Now, for those of you who are afraid to pick up the phone and call people, all I want you to do is pick up the phone and start building momentum for yourself. In this business, you have to pick up the phone, you have to talk to people, and you'll get better at it over time. So set a goal for yourself to pick up the phone and call as many people as possible every single day. And there's one thing I want you to shoot for as you're making these calls. I want you to shoot for 50 people to tell you no, not yes, no. And there's some reasoning behind that. In fact, I'm gonna link a book in the description box of this video. It's called Goal for No. This is a great mindset shift book for you to read once you start picking up the phone and calling people. By going for no's, 50 no's, you're eventually gonna get some yeses. If you decided to go for 50 no's while you're making your calls, and let's say you're at number 45 and you get 1 yes, then you have to start all over and shoot for another 50 no's. If you're at number 49 and you get another yes, then you gotta start all over and get another 50 no's. The goal is to get 50 no's. But if you look at what's actually happening by you going for 50 no's, you're actually getting high quality yeses at the same time. So it takes a mindset shift for you to go for no rather than yes. So just to recap that once again, what I want you to do is pull a list of vacant property, motivated seller leads. I want you to skip trace those leads, and I want you to pick up the phone and start calling these leads. Now, the benefit to picking up the phone and calling people is it'll only cost you your time. Maybe a little bit of money to get the skip tracing done, which is, very inexpensive these days, but majority of the effort is gonna come from your time, not your pockets. So real estate marketing idea number one is to pick up the phone and start cold calling people. This is how you can get to the bag as quickly as possible. Let's move into strategy number two. All right, so marketing strategy number two is a pretty popular one, old school strategy that a lot of real estate investors use, and that's by hanging bandit signs. But we're not gonna use the traditional route of bandit sign hanging. What I want you to do is keep this really inexpensive so it doesn't hit your pockets as much as hanging those 18 by 24 bandit signs will cost you. Now, for those of you who don't know what a bandit sign is, if you ever seen a sign on the side of the road that says we buy houses or we buy anything, it could be, what's some other stuff we buy test strips, diabetes test strips and stuff. Those are called bandit signs. The way you're gonna use the bandit signs effectively is to order blank bandit signs. Now, normally a bandit sign is gonna be 18 by 24 in size. Instead of getting the 18 by 24 signs, what I want you to do is go to a site called dirtcheapsigns.com, and I'm gonna go ahead and link it in the description box for you. When you're on dirtcheapsigns.com, ask Curtis to send you blank 12 by 18 signs. Okay, so what you're doing is you're paying less for those signs, usually half the cost, and you're gonna get double the amount you would get if you were to order the 18 by 24 signs. So literally, you're taking an 18 by 24 blank sign and you're gonna have it cut in half, and you're gonna get double the amount for less money. Again, just to recap that, is go to dirtcheapsigns.com, talk to Curtis, tell him that Jamel Gibbs sent you. I'm gonna make sure I leave the information in the description box below. Get the blank 12 by 18 signs, and obviously you wanna get the sign posts as well, the little wire, the little H wires that come with it, right? That's gonna cost you a little extra, but again, it's gonna keep your budget really low and help you maximize the amount of signs that you can get out. When you get the signs, what I also want you to do is go to Office Depot or Office Max or Walmart or wherever and get the thickest Sharpie marker that you can find. Usually the Magnum Sharpie markers are gonna work just fine. You wanna make sure you get that in black. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna write your message on the sign. So if you got 100 signs, you're gonna write the message over and over and over again on 100 signs. Now, in addition to that, I want you to go ahead and get a track phone. Now, if you're on a budget right now and you have a track phone in real life, you know that those are called throwaway phones, right? A lot of people have these prepaid phones when they don't want to take on a mobile plan, all right? So I want you to get a throwaway phone from the 99-cent store, and I want you to use that phone number on the bandit sign so you can protect yourself from anybody trying to contact you, like code enforcement or something like that, telling you that those signs can't be hung and them trying to fine you. Now, I want you to keep in mind that this particular method is frowned upon in certain cities, so check with your local ordinances to make sure you're not gonna get in trouble hanging signs in your local city. But just to recap what we're talking about, I want you to get blank bandit signs, 12 by 18 bandit signs. I'm gonna leave all of the information that you need to get these bandit signs, to write the message on the bandit sign, to order the track phone that comes with it. I'm gonna leave all of that in the description box below this video. Make sure you check it out in order to be able to get all the tools you need to get these signs out. Now, the idea with these signs is to put out as many as possible all over your city every single week. Now, if you only have a budget of, let's say, 200 signs per month, put out 50 signs a week. If you can do 400 signs per month, put out 100 signs per week. But again, the idea is to put out as many as possible in order to get your phone ringing. All right, so that's marketing idea number two, hanging bandit signs in order to get your phone ringing. Now, before we move into strategy number 3, if you're liking the information that we're covering so far, if you feel like these are true low-cost methods to find deals as a real estate investor, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button below. And if you're brand new to my channel, make sure you subscribe in order to get more information just like this. Let's go ahead and move into the next strategy. All right, so strategy number 3 that I want to share with you today is a strategy that most people won't do, but it makes it much more effective for people who will actually go out there and do it. And that's literally knocking on people's doors. So how does this work? Really simple. Remember, in strategy number 1, I told you to pull a list of vacant properties and to skip trace the list. You're gonna do the same exact thing when it comes to door knocking. You're gonna pull a list of vacant property owners. You're going to skip trace that list. Now, once you skip trace the list, rather than picking up the phone and calling people, you can simply go to their house or their mailing address if they're local, or send somebody there and you can literally knock on their door, all right? Now, one method that you can implement is to incorporate strategy number 1 along with strategy number 3, where you call them first and say, hey, I'm calling about your property. If they don't pick up, then you go knock on their door and you say, hey, I tried calling you the other day about your property, but since you didn't pick up, I decided to come to your mailing address to see if I can reach you. All right, so what you're doing is you're combining strategy number 1 and strategy number 3 in order to be much more effective in that regard. So literally what you're gonna do is go and knock on people's doors. This is a very effective way to talk to people who truly want to sell. Not everybody's gonna be looking to sell. Not everybody's gonna be happy that you're knocking on their door. But the people who are happy to see you are gonna be your deals anyway. So if you just take the time to literally go door to door, all it'll cost you is some time and gas money to be able to get them if they're local to your city, if they're not too far away. Now, if they're in a completely different state, this strategy is not gonna be as effective. But if they are local to you within, let's say, a 30-minute drive, then you can literally go to their property and say, hey, I'm interested in purchasing your house. This, to me, is one of the best ways to find real estate deals. The only problem with it is it takes up a lot of your personal time. Now, just to give you an example of how this particular strategy, door knocking, worked for me really well one time, was when my wife was pregnant, when we lived back in Pennsylvania. She was pregnant with my second daughter, and we decided that rather than us just walking around a block because she was about to go into labor, rather than us just walking a block, why don't we print out some flyers and go door to door around our farming area? So we decided to print out 100 flyers, and we literally went door to door, up and down 12th Street and Buttonwood Street and all these other streets in Reading, Pennsylvania. We went door to door, and I was able to find a deal on Buttonwood. Someone actually called me back from a flyer that I stuck in one of his vacant properties. When he went to go visit the property, he saw the flyer in the door, called me up. I ended up getting a contract on a deal, selling a deal, and making $7,000. That's $7,000 that I wouldn't have made if I would have never went out and knocked on doors in order to find deals. So that shows you the power of just taking action, not overthinking things, just getting out there and doing it. And it shows you that anybody who's willing to put in the time can get it done. $7,000 for 2 hours worth of work when it came to finding that particular deal. So the moral of the story today is to use your brain, think outside the box. I gave you 3 real estate marketing ideas that you can incorporate today. You got cold calling, you got cheap bandit sign hanging, and you got door knocking. If you're willing to put in the work to get this done, you're willing to sacrifice either a little bit of time or a little bit of money, you too can get out there and make thousands of dollars investing in real estate today. Now, one of the key things when it comes to marketing is understanding how to continue your marketing and how to follow up. And if you're at that point in your business where you're actually generating leads right now and you want more ideas on how to actually do this, and you want to see what we're actually doing in my business, be sure to watch this video that just popped up on the screen, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace.